After a failed water pump belt resulted in overheating, we're now going through the systems, checking the oil and looking for signs of water infiltration in the motor. If you haven't already, please check the previous video to get you up to date. All right, this is the part for the impeller. That's the one you use for Crusader. Here's a part number right here for you. Comes with the gaskets. Here's a thermostat kit. Part number for Crusader replacement. Here's a thermostat. We're gonna replace that thermostat. And this is my gizmo. This is what I use to pump out my oil. I'm gonna use, so it comes with the different size adapters. You just take the adapter I have in here right now because it fits perfectly in the dipstick. When the engine oil is a little warm, it works better than versus cold. Take out the dipstick. That's my oil. Put it inside. All the way to the bottom. And you pump. So right now, I go like this, turn this valve. You see? There you go. And it starts coming up. And once you get suction going, it'll just fill. And that sucker will take all this oil out in no time. And we'll be able to examine the oil and see if there's any water in it. I don't think there's any water in it, and I don't think there's any antifreeze in it. I think I shut the engines off, so it's already got good suction. So now it's just pulling on its own. And when I'm ready to release the air compression, because it's got like its own kind of air compression, when I'm ready to release it, I just flip this valve over and it'll let the air out, like what you heard when we first started. It's pretty cool. And then this pops off, and it has an easy pour. You can pour it right into a container. So easy. Like, I'm not even spilling any oil right now. And the other thing I used to use was the orange handheld. Boy, that was a pain in the neck. It used to make a big mess. See, now it needs a little more suction. And it's just gonna keep pulling. I can hear the oil going in there. It's just gonna keep pulling the oil. And once I got good suction, here it goes. It's getting tense now. It's tense. It's not taking any more, so it's just gonna pull on its own. It is filling that buoy. Filling it. We just started. We're already right this far up. So you've seen how fast this is working. I'll have this oil pan emptied out in no time. And then I'll pour new oil in there. But I'm also thinking I'm gonna also use this to suck up the rest of that antifreeze that's down in that pan and dump it out too. And switch out my absorbent pads. Listen to that. Look at all that suction. You can hear that bad boy go. All right, now we're gonna change the oil. This is the filter that you can use for the Crusader 350s. I got my oil change wrench, a little rag, and I put a plastic bag underneath. So if you take the plastic bag and you tuck it under the oil filter, it'll catch oil that might seep out. So, and then it's always good to put a date on there. That's the starboard one. Right now we're gonna do the port side, which is on the other side. This side here is usually a little pain to do because it's so far over. See, the oil is going right into the plastic bag. Boop. Ta-da. So yeah, so that's a Wix 51.5, and we're going back to the frame. All right. Yeah, you want to hand tighten that, not with the wrench, because there's a gasket there, and if you over tighten it, you know, gasket's not going to do its job. So the gasket needs to do its job. So here we go. All right, now let's see what that oil looks like. Here's what it's gonna look like coming out of the filter. So yeah, that's just dark oil from the filter. But it's not, we're looking for, is it milky? It's not milky. Okay, it's dark. It needed to be changed. Now let's see, coming out of the gizmo we used to change the oil. Let's try that. This thing out of here. All right, just looks like dark oil that needed to be changed. It's not milky. I don't see any white. See a reflection from the flash, but this is just good oil. I mean, good in the sense that it's just oil, but yeah, for sure it needed to be changed. Oil change is done, and she got cleaned up pretty good. All that antifreeze has been picked up. It's quite a bit. All right, so can't really tell too much on the camera with the flash on, but there's this much antifreeze that I picked up out of there. So a couple of quarts, and I'm hoping that's just from overheating and that nothing else is leaking. So I'm gonna add more antifreeze to my system and run the motors, see if it leaks any. So this is the cover to the heat exchanger. That's the bolt that bolts it into place, and this is the gasket. So the gasket was still in good shape. It's still pretty thick. It's my new gasket I'm gonna put on there and check out what it looks like inside. That's that thing right there. That's the zinc needs to be replaced. So same thing on the other side. Zinc, gasket. Here we go. Oh yeah, I didn't think I showed you. Radiator cap looks good. It's really a heat exchanger cap. Springy still. Yeah, let's do it. All right, that's it for today. At some point, the work's got to stop. So what do I still have to do? I still need to do the thermostat. I'm not going to do the impeller. I changed it not long ago, and you saw how once the belt was repaired, how much water it was pushing out. So the impeller is fine for now. But I will do the thermostat when I come back. The oil change has been done on both motors, oil and fuel filters. I've added so far 2 gallons of antifreeze on that engine that overheated. It's got me a little bit concerned. Hopefully when I run it, it doesn't spill any more antifreeze, because if there's a crack in the block somewhere where it's leaking out, it's not going to be good. It's going to need to be replaced. Now, having said that, those are the original motors from 1979. They've had upgrades. They're Crusader 350s. They've been running good. But it shows that just a simple thing like checking your fan belt or not leaving the dock when everything is not perfect, or everything's not running as it should. If your safety checks are not all done, and if your engine and your gauges are not right, don't leave the dock. Turn everything off, try and find out what's going on. Because a simple little belt caused all this problem. So, hopefully, I don't have a crack anywhere. Hopefully I'm not going to be leaking any antifreeze. Granted, when it overheated, yeah, it needed to expand and go somewhere. But praying, keep my fingers crossed, praying that engine's good. We'll see what happens. So it ran good today, but I only ran it for a short period. Yeah, I probably should not have tried to get that temperature up to operating, especially since the antifreeze was low, but I hadn't checked that. So now I know I added 2 gallons. Wow, that's a lot to add. So we'll find out what's going on. I'll keep you posted when I come back around again. It's getting late, like it's dark out. The wife's gonna be calling me soon. So I gotta stay out of the doghouse. But you know what? This is the doghouse. Pretty cool doghouse to be in. Now keep it safe, guys. We'll see you on the next episode of Solitude and Sailing. Take care.